Oh, look, it's another review series I did earlier this year and purposely waited until this month to rank. So, yeah, we had a sixth Scream movie come out back in April, I believe it was. So yeah, let's go ahead and rank all six of these, worst to best, as always. Starting off at number six, worst, and I wouldn't even call this the worst because I still think it's a solid movie, but it's going to be Scream 3. This movie has a slew of issues, I will admit, but I still think it's a fun, enjoyable entry into the Scream franchise. Roman, I thought, was a pretty good Ghostface. I liked the Hollywood setting. The Jay and Silent Bob cameo is fun. You get some good kills. Obviously, they're watered down because of some events that transpired when this movie was being developed. There was a whole abandoned plot where Stu was supposed to come back, but they abandoned that because Columbine happened and there were just a couple issues with the story where Stu was training high schoolers. So yeah, the story was changed, the kills were watered down, but it's still a fun movie. I still enjoy it, but it is still my weakest of the franchise. Number five, and honestly, about the same bit of quality. Not a great movie, but not anywhere near bad. I'm gonna put Scream 6. Uh, I did not like the killer reveal at the end of this movie. That is my main issue with this movie. There were three killers. I thought three was a little bit of overkill, and I just didn't like the identity of who the killer was. I didn't like their motivation. It was just very copycat of Scream 2 and the killer in that movie. But we'll get to that in a later video. But yeah, the kills were great. The setting in New York was absolutely amazing. I do think this is a good Scream movie. It's got a really interesting story, but the final reveal does hold it back a little bit. But it's here at number five. Number four, I'm going to put Scream 4. And I think that this is a damn good movie. I see a lot of people have this as their least favorite of the franchise. I don't get why. I think that this is a good entry. I think that the kills are really good. And I really love Jill as the Ghostface killer in this movie. The other killer in this movie, not so much. But I thought Jill was really good. Really great to see the main three back. And yes, some of the camera work was a little weird. It felt a little too shiny, I guess, for a Scream movie. But nonetheless, this was Wes Craven's last movie before he passed away. And I thought it was a really high note for him to go out on as a director. Obviously, it wasn't by his choice, but yeah, I really like this movie. It was a great send-off for Wes Craven as a director, so it's here at number four. Third place, number three, I'm going to put Scream 2. I think this is a fantastic follow-up to the original. You get Sidney, Gale, and Dewey all back in this movie. Randy comes back, and my main issue with this movie is that they killed Randy. But I thought that the college setting was great. The kills were fantastic. Very brutal, very gory. Just like Randy stated in this movie, you have to focus on Carnage Candy for a slasher sequel. And focus on it they did. It had some really great Carnage Candy. I really liked the reveal that Mickey was the killer along with Mrs. Loomis. Being Billy's mother, being out for revenge against Sidney. I thought that was a really good touch, and I thought that Cotton Weary, great character, played by Liev Schreiber. My dumbass forgot to mention when I was talking about 3, but the biggest mistake that movie made was killing off Cotton Weary in the opening, because he could have been a great ally to Sidney and her crew in later films, but either way, I love this movie. It was a great entry into the franchise. It's here at number 3. Number 2, and this is where we separate the mature adults from the children. I'm going to put Scream 5 at number 2, second place runner-up. I see a lot of people who don't like this movie, and I don't know why. I thought this was a great love letter to Wes Craven as a director, and I just really loved it. You get the main three back. Obviously, they don't have screen time together because Dewey gets killed off, and then Sidney comes back. But I still thought that this was a great reintroduction to Scream. You get some really great new characters with Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera. Both fantastic characters. I loved their chemistry as the sisters in this movie and carrying on into 6. And I hope they come back in 7. I don't think they've ever confirmed who is and isn't coming back in 7. But either way, love them. I loved Mindy. I loved Chad. I really liked the whole new set of characters that we get, the whole new set of suspects. There's a couple characters I feel like they could have done a little more with, specifically Vince, since he was supposed to be Stu Macher's nephew or whatever. But either way, I thought this was a good reintroduction to the franchise, so it's here at number 2. But number 1, and no surprise, it's the original film, Scream. Honestly, this is one of my favorite slasher films of all time. Wes Craven created a masterpiece. But Wes Craven's just one of those directors who can create masterpiece after masterpiece. And I miss him. I miss his talents every day because he was just great at creating films like this with great characters, an iconic killer now with Ghostface, and I really love Sidney, Gale, Dewey, Randy. Every character we're introduced to in this movie, it's just all amazing. Great kills, great atmosphere, and honestly one of the greatest twists in horror history with there's not just one killer, there's 2, and the reveal that is Billy and Stu. Stu, played by Matthew Lillard, one of my favorite horror movie characters of all time, hands down. It's just Matthew Lillard had that charisma that just cannot be matched. But yeah, I love this movie. Wes Craven created a masterpiece just like he did with Nightmare on Elm Street, so it's here at number 1. So that was my ranking of all 6 Scream films. Which one's your favorite? Which one's your least favorite? I'd love to hear your ranking down in the comments. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.